Like before the baby got here, at what moment did it like his click in the back of his head was real late? But at what moment did it click that
I had to take.
I'm doing dad shit and my baby not here?
Oh, this is gonna be real.
No, actually, it's gonna be quite simple. I
Mm.
wake up one Sunday. There's a car laying next to me. Me and my just sleeping blissfully, cutting wood. Just next day I wake up, I see a blue envelope, kind of thick. What's in here? Open it. There's a positive pregnancy test. Happy Father's Day. Oh shit!
Oh,
Oh wow.
was it on Father's Day?
It was on Father's Day.
I mean, that's the way to do it. I'm not even mad at that. I'm not even mad at that.
I mean, that's the
That's the way to
gift
do
that
it.
keeps on giving.
Well, happy anniversary.
Hello, beautiful people and fellow whiners, and welcome to another episode of A Little Something, the number 2. Wine About with your hostesses, Siobhan Camille.
And Ty Michelle.
We're going to do this one more time. Okay. Hello, beautiful people and fellow whiners, and welcome to another episode of A Little Something, the number 2. Wine About with your hostesses. I am Siobhan Camille.
I am Ty Michelle. No, I'm just kidding.
And we this is where sips get real. We wine while we wine, all that good stuff. If you're listening on the podcast platform, come on over to YouTube. I don't really say that enough. I feel like I should. At ALS the number 2 WA. Yeah, it's third Wednesday, so we're whining with the guys. We've got Big Dave with us and Casimir, aka the man on the couch, formerly known as a boyfriend, also known as the cameraman. I mean, just that guy. He's here.
Cameraman,
The man of many names.
The man of many
And
names.
on the couch.
music producer.
And so we're gonna talk about fatherhood because Father Day just passed, and y'all know we celebrate fathers here on this here podcast. We celebrate the dads. So grab a glass of your favorite red, white, rosé, Pinot de Agua, some tea. And join us on the I almost drank tea. That's why I had to shout tea. That was
How about what they say?
Then she said, get your glass of tea and come sit on the couch and we gonna spill it. That's what she said.
That's
we
what
gonna
it
spill
is.
some tea. Bird. Hey y'all, hey. This month, in the wonderful month of June, in our wonderful summer month, first off, if your body ain't right, prepare for next year. Okay? It's over. Summer's here. It's done. I'm just bust your bubble now. I don't mean to Debbie down it, but baby, this is your summer body. Okay? And I'm probably more so talking to myself. Anyway, for this lovely summer month of June, we have decided to do wines from another country. If you watched last week, you know how we got to Germany. Because we didn't pick a country. We just said a country, and ta-da is where we landed, is Germany. So, this is where we's at. Go there. Is there some place in Germany I want to go? Not sure. But anyway, y'all know I'm good for those digressions. Don't pay attention to me.
The only city in Germany I can think of is Berlin.
Do I want to go to Berlin?
Frankfurt. That's a city too.
Where's Vancouver?
That's Canada.
Canada. British Columbia, Canada. Over there.
Sounded like German to me.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, I just feel like German would have like von Van something Oshkowaskas. Anyway, well, we're in Germany wines. That's the point. So our popping grapes experiences will be on with those wines. Well, mine's will.
Yeah, I don't have a wine this week. It didn't happen, y'all. It didn't happen.
It's okay. Y'all know our life be lifing, and she got a wine.
It's the Pinot Blanc that I had like 3 weeks ago because I still haven't finished it.
Okay. So ta-da, it's from a country.
I think it's from France. So
Ta-da, see, neighbors. Anyway, don't ask me, y'all. Don't look for me to be
I was trying to
geologically
think.
correct.
I don't know if they're neighbors.
Don't look for me to be geologically correct. I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna be. So don't.
She said it's somewhere over there. They somewhere.
They friends. I think they friends, allies, neighbors. I don't know. Enemies. They something.
They might be now. They weren't at one.
Well, I know back in the day they won't.
No.
Yeah, nobody was. Anyway, that's another.
Anyway, we're not gonna get y'all a history lesson. I'm gonna tell you about my Papa Grapes experience. That's what I'm gonna do because mine is from Germany. Digressions all over the place today. Okay. I have a Riesling from Dr. Hans von Muehl. Same person. Mueller.
Okay.
Same person last time. This one is different though. This is a. I want to hope I say this right. Y'all know I can't read. Spatulese. Spatlese.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with that because it's 2 dots over the A, so I don't know what that means because I don't speak that language. So I'm gonna say Spatulese. Y'all can correct me in the comments. Okay, I'm just telling. Anyway, it's German. I don't speak German, so there you have it. And oh shit. Oh, sorry. It's only 8. It's only 8.0% alcohol by volume. Now I'm scared. And it don't have nothing on the back but the government warning sign. So we'll see. That 8.0 done down. It's a Riesling. So that's what I'm be popping these here grapes for this here Father's Day, past Father's Day, post Father's Day episode, whatever. We're gonna talk to the daddies or let the daddies talk about daddying because daddying is a thing, and as 2 women on the opposite spectrums of the daddy scale, we like to let the men talk. Okay? So, yeah. Talk.
Go ahead, y'all. Talk.
I'm waiting for a question.
Talk daddy stuff.
Right. I thought.
I got a question. How did being a father, and this is probably a basic bitch question, and I'm okay with that today. I don't care. How did being a father change your life? And first of all, I want to preface this by saying that Kazman has 5 kids, 2 daughters and 3 sons, and they've had 2, a boy and a girl.
That's correct.
And I know one of yours is a special needs child. I know that one of Kaz's is also because he's autistic on the spectrum. So, yeah, how did being a father change you? And especially given having children with needs? Because I don't feel like we don't talk about that enough. Like in the world, but definitely in the Black community, we don't talk about that. Them kids. We don't talk about those kids.
After you, sir.
You know what? I'll tell you what. It was an eye opener when you realize. What do you mean I can't go out? I'm going. No, I. What do you mean I can't go out? Like I want to go out tonight, so I can't go out. You know what I mean? Like when you have to start to adjust your life, and that's when you realize. And this is not a one night thing. This is a full term commitment. And it doesn't just end at 18. With real parents, it does not end at 18. You are a parent until you die or they die. And you are still a parent even after that. So it was a reality check, but I was already a responsible person. So I just fell in line. It just, and yeah, there were bumps in the road, but I just fell in line. And I realized, okay, this is stuff I like to do. This is the stuff I have to do. Okay, now this is the stuff I like to do. This is the stuff I have to do. And then this is the stuff I like to do. What do you mean there's more? You know what I mean? Like it just you just have to make that adjustment, man. Either you fall in place or you don't. I fell in place, and it's definitely changed my life. I'm definitely more of a responsible person. And I wouldn't take any of it back. Would I change some stuff? Of course, because the things that I know now, if I knew then, you know, definitely would have changed some stuff. But I love my five, so you know. But it was definitely bit of
Oh,
a
that was
change.
so sweet.
I love my five, man. I love my five.
My 6 get on my damn nerves.
I
Look,
love you. Love them though. You love them though. You love them. Love them.
sometimes it's questionable. I ain't lying. Children make you question love. Okay, you think your spouse make you question love? Children make you question love. Okay.
Look, man. Children will make you say, "Is love a word that has a definition or an acronym for something else?"
Yeah, I feel like Jennifer. I feel like Jennifer Hudson. If this is love, then tell me what it is. Cause what the fuck? Like, yeah. But okay, Dave, your turn.
See, my thing is, you don't realize as a child gets older, they turn into a mini version of you.
Ooh.
That's what I'm dealing with David right now.
Well,
13 years old, I'm like, oh shit, it's not gonna be good. When 13, I'm like, oh hell, oh Lord. And the thing about it is, we have grown with technology. It was easier when we were younger because all we did was either called each other on the phone or we mailed letters. These days, you gotta worry about all these apps that
you
people
mailed letters
stuff
as
like
a
that,
child?
huh?
You mailed letters as a child?
Yeah, I had some mail sent to me. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you
Oh,
talking about pen
you
pal? Like the pen pal?
sophisticated.
No, I got on chat lines. I was on chat lines back in the days
Oh,
and meeting people and stuff like that. So I had one person send me a card with all these pictures and stuff in it. Like yeah, old school. But I'm saying all that to say, like with David in particular, it's like watching Mini Me, and I'm like, he's got advantages over anything that I had because he can text, he can, do all these crazy things, be in all these crazy apps and stuff like that. Even games are app, even games are ways to communicate, and that's how little kids get in trouble and stuff like that. That's another thing that I have to unfortunately worry about. But when it came to Mel, it's an entirely different story because she was one, and one day she was kind of talking and saying words, and the next day, literally nothing. And it's been that way for the last 7 years.
hmm.
Um, there's nothing that can prepare you for having a child with any disability, not much less being on a spectrum with ASD and not being able to talk nor communicate unless she has her little tablet. It's hard. It's very, very difficult because there's some days you like, you're having a shitty day. Excuse my language. Um, and sometimes like my wife will say I love you. Your son may eventually say I love you. You know how it is with boys. We don't really like say I love you, but we need to stop. We need to start encouraging that. Um, every now and then you just want to hear, just be like, man, Daddy, I love you. And I swear for Lord, like you will see me running up and down the street if my daughter ever tells me she loves me without having to use a device. You know what I'm saying? But um it's been a journey with both kids, and it really forced you to grow up in a lot of ways that you have never thought about. Um I did it right. I was married. But even still, like, I'm divorced now, and like I had to play the single father for a little while, and that was an adjustment. I understand what Kaz was going through as a single dad. I understood all that. Now, it was crazy how things just happened, and like I got blessed with a second chance, and now I got a strong tag team partner, and it's like there's nothing like it. Like having somebody like my wife, like she fully embraced my daughter. She embraced both kids, but her and my daughter have such an attachment that every time I see them together, it's just like, man, like I'm like, Lord, I really did it. I did good this time. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel about the whole situation. But um, having somebody that understands, and like I said, you have Siobhan. Siobhan understands what's going on too. So it's like you need support. You need a village,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you have you need a village when you have just a normal child, whatnot. But when you have a child with special needs, you definitely need a village and a lot of love and a lot of patience. Sorry,
So,
I'm done. I'm done.
it's no. You hit on a lot of things there. As a stepmom, bonus mom, extra mom, whatever the heck you want to call it, I can understand that. To have someone to come into accept, I think all of us here can understand that accepts your your extra. I'm not gonna call them baggage because everybody got baggage, but your extra mouths, your extra hands, your extra brains, your extra personalities. Um, it's a blessing. It truly is, and especially when someone in a circumstance dealing with someone with any type of challenges. Um, that's a godsend. Because a lot of people they can't handle that. I promise you. I think all my stepkids on the spectrum somewhere. I just ain't got them tested. I promise you. But I promise you it'll come back.
Let me reach out and touch you.
I guarantee you. Okay. Um, I know there's some ADHD, autistic, dyslexia, a whole bunch of stuff. Like I promise you. But I think a part of that people don't get tested because they don't want to know out of fear. I think it's not talked about enough in our community because of fear. The image of us is not with disability. It's not with a limitation. That can be seen as weakness, and that's not something that us in our community we like to be seen as weak. I'm so glad that is changing now. I really am glad that perspective is changing to a certain extent. I'm glad that people are starting to recognize that being too strong is a weakness. Not acknowledging that we have uh, challenges and disabilities and handicaps in our community is a weakness because they exist. Um, but getting back to being a father, I heard Marshall say, "Yeah, it made me realize, oh, I can't go out." I got a question. Did things change when you found out that you were expecting to be a father soon? Like, when did it change? Like, what
All right.
happened? Like, what was the
So,
moment before the baby when you realized you is a daddy?
all right. Um, so to take it back to my firstborn,
Okay.
me and her mom were not together. We were just grown. That's all I'm gonna say. We were just grown, but we were
Okay.
good friends. We understood the situation. She was grown, I was grown, and was not like either one of us expected anything else but that. And I just remember the moment that she called me was like, I'm late. Okay, might want to speed up and get to work then. Cause she worked like 2 or 3 jobs, and she's like, nah. I'm like I ain't seen my period, and I was like,
Oh, that
So
is.
me, like a dummy, the moment that she said that, I'm like, you seen your period? Like, I don't know nothing about it. You know what I mean? I don't really know nothing about that. So I'm like, okay, so
Marshall,
what you
when
got?
did you
Hold
learn
on, look,
about the
hold on.
reproductive system? What?
No. So here's the thing. When she said that, I wasn't thinking like, okay, you're trying to tell me you're pregnant, because I just felt like you don't have to beat around the bush. Just say it.
Just
Say, I'm pregnant, or I think I'm pregnant. You get what I'm saying? Just say that.
But
Cause
she did.
I'm
She said she was late.
I mean,
so I
she
was
was
like, look,
around the block with
look.
that.
Well, right. She kind of went around it because she was just like, I'm late. I'm like, all right. She didn't say my period's late when she first got on the phone. She just said I'm late. And I know she runs from one job to the next. So I'm just like, I mean, all right, I guess you better hurry up and get there. She's like, nah, I ain't seen my period. And I'm just like, when you say you're late, you didn't see your period, that's not where my mind was at. And I was at work. So I'm just like, did I do something wrong? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, did I do something wrong? Right. And that's when I realized that's when, you know, the little voices in the back of your head. Something was like, you dumbass. You know what I mean? You dumbass.
Yeah.
And then it was just like,
hello.
look. Are you pregnant? And she automatically caught an attitude because I guess by me making the statements before, it made it seem like I'm beating around it. I'm really in like dumbassville. I have no idea what's going on. So I was like, are you pregnant? And she's like, yeah, I'm pregnant and I'm keeping her. And I don't care what you got to say. And this, and I said, okay, what you want to do? And she was like, the heck you mean you want to do? Look, man, it's my first child. I don't know what this rodeo is. You tell me what to do and I'm just showing up. She was like, well, I ain't getting rid of the child. Okay. Well, I'm going to need support. Okay. And then there was some other stipulation, which I'm not going to put a business out there because that popped up. So the moment we got off the phone, that's when I was like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, because everything just hit me and I had to like realize and just, because I never thought I was going to have a child and not be in a relationship. This was the first non-relationship situation that I had. So everybody else had been a relationship. This was just an understanding. Now, I will say this. There's a good and a bad with that. The bad is, you know, I started out of wedlock. And at some point, when I'm reaching the pearly gates, you got to explain all your sins. So I'm going to have to go down that road. But we never had an issue where we were at each other's throats ever. We never, I don't think we have a bad bone towards each other for anything. And from day one, before the child was born, I already knew I got to step up. So I'm doing everything that I can to make sure the child has, and so on and so forth, and making myself available on days that I normally would be out bullshit. You know what I mean? I gotta, let me make myself available. Now, our situation was different. To be honest, parenthood didn't truly hit me until my second born, until my daughter, because I had to step up and I had her. So it was me and her, kind of like Rob's situation. It was me and her. It's me sitting in the class with her in a car seat. It's me doing grown man stuff, knowing that I got a child in my car. It's me, you know what I mean? It's me going to the store and getting out the car and like, oops, I got a child in the car. You know what I mean? Like, oops, I got a child. Like, hey man, hey, I'm being real. I'm telling you, I'm being real. Where I got out the car and hit the button, it was like, boop, ooh, I got a child. You know what I mean? Just because you have to alter your mind for that. And even growing up, mom was with us more than dad, but it wasn't that he wasn't there for us. It was he worked around the clock to make sure we had. So I had to change those dynamics. And, you know, I think what strengthened me is my first two kids, outside of attitudes, they're normal kids for the most part. I didn't go through
What is that like?
ADHD.
I don't know what.
They're not really normal. They're not really normal. I'm really
Oh no, I
figuratively
was just
speaking.
saying, like, what's a child without an attitude? Because I promise you, I not know what that is.
Ethan, a child without an attitude is Ethan.
Ethan is a child without an attitude.
But
that's the only one I know.
Hold on. But here's the thing. Out of all my kids, If somebody said Ethan killed somebody, I would believe them because he doesn't have an attitude towards anything.
Yeah.
And I feel like when somebody really tests that button, they better get the hell up out of there because he's going to unload years of I should have done this to them, but you're catching up.
I'm gonna say this. I just want to jump in real quick to say I think what I've noticed with the fathers that I know in this here generation, and even the ones before us, but definitely this because I'm gonna speak to the ones we know. Single fathers, if you're going to date a man with kids, to me, I would say single fathers are the best. And the reason being, most of them that I've come in contact with are empathetic to the situation. I feel like those who really step up and take full responsibility for their kids, who have their kids, who do the 9 to 5, get up, do school, whatever, like are the primary caregivers, their mentality is different than the weekend dad or the after school for 2 hours dad who like the kids are really there by themselves. Like I say this because every person I've heard, every man I've heard that's ever been a single father has always said, and I remember the first person I knew who was a single father was one of my hood homies. Like he hood as shit. And he had his daughter. I don't know why they always give hood niggas daughters, but the Lord is working, I guess.
Oh,
Um,
boy.
but I remember having a conversation with him, and he having his daughter gave him so much respect for single mothers. And I remember him before his daughter, and he ain't had too much nice to say. And after he wound up with his daughter, he was like, this shit is hard. And I was like, well done.
And that's why God gives them daughters.
Well done.
Mm.
But I feel like I say that because I think it definitely being a parent required, if you're a good parent, being a parent requires a certain amount of responsibility. Whether you birthed a child, whether you're a step parent, whether you're a bio parent, whether you're a godparent, because God knows I have like 25,000 godchildren. Whether you're a half step parent, like I was told one time, I think it does that. I think it does that. And I just want to also chime in to say, as far as raising a child with a disability, I think I 100% agree that we in the Black community don't want to like look at that as weakness. I also will say, given a recent experience with Ethan, I think part of why we are hesitant to also throw the labels of any disability on our children is because they already are walking in the door being Black.
With a disadvantage, yeah.
Right. So and then it becomes, oh, you still playing victim, right? Like we talk about just being Black as an experience and we're called victims for that. So if I sit up here and say I'm Black and neurodivergent, you just gotta play the victim, right? Because even if we sit here as Black women and go, yo, I'm Black and I'm a woman, these are the things against me, we're just complainers. So I feel like that's the other side to that. But I just
absolutely I agree. I definitely agree. I agree. As someone with dyslexia.
yeah. So I just want to throw that out there. But Dave, hit us in. When you know it was real, the fatherhood is real.
Like before the baby got here, at what moment did it like his click in the back of his head was real late? But at what moment did it click that
I had to take
I'm doing dad shit and my baby not here?
Oh, this is gonna be real.
No, actually, it's going to be quite simple. I wake up one Sunday. There's a car laying next to me. Me and my just sleeping blissfully, cutting wood. Just next day I wake up, I see a blue envelope, kind of thick. What's in here? Open it. There's a positive pregnancy test. Happy Father's Day. Oh shit!
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Was it on Father's Day?
It was on Father's Day.
I mean, that's the way to do it. I'm not even mad at that. I'm not even mad at that.
I mean, that's the
That's the way to
gift that
do it.
keeps on giving.
Well, happy anniversary.
Yeah, you're gonna be a father in 9 months. Congratulations. Like, oh shit, like this is real. But I think it really hit home. It really hit home the day I was at work. I got a call from my supervisor. He's like, "Yo, man, your wife just called." I'm like, "You know what happened? You know what I need to do?" He's like, "Yeah, go take care of your business." I bucked the UE, crossed that bridge, drove my ass to Columbia, dropped the car off, dropped the truck off, flew to Annapolis, and watched my son get born. Now, she had surgery and everything, so David's over there squirming. The nurse goes, "I'm just in a state of delirium." And the nurse is like, "You know, you can go over there and touch him. He's your son." I go over there, look at him, like, oh my God, I created this.
Yeah.
And that's when it really hit you like, okay, this is not a dream anymore. This is
Mm-hmm.
like real life. Like, yeah, the human that you created, you got to take care of this.
Like, who
And
told somebody I needed this responsibility? What?
That's
it's
funny.
like, yeah, it's
I
just
was
like,
just having
oh, like,
fun.
it's like, but instantly it's like, I knew that I had to be a good father. I always had in my brain, I said, you know something? If I became a dad, I was going to be stern like James Evans, but I was going to try to be, a little comedic like Bill Cosby. So I really took my way of raising David like Bill Cosby was in the Cosby Show, using logic and trying to create comedic situations for him to help to understand what life is like. So like it was crazy. Like watching David in that little incubator, squirming around, diaper on, swaddle, like I'm like, oh my God, I really did this. I really did this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, see, I asked that as a mom and someone who has birthed a child. I know the moments are different. You know, for women, they feel the baby growing because when them bones start to shifting, baby. Okay, that's a whole thing. You be like, what is happening? And then so not to take away from you all, but I felt like a mutant when I saw that boy foot do like this across my stomach. I told my mom, I feel like an alien. Like there's
Aliens.
something inside me. And she's like, baby, you're pregnant. I know, but it did this. Like, and all I saw is like literally a foot, like, oh, those are toes poking through my belt. Like, it was, so for women, it can be quite different, needless to say. So I always wonder, like, what was the moment before the baby got here that the dads be like, oh crap, like this is happening. I'm a daddy. Um now on a big much happier note, with having grown children and little children, what have been some of the most just to give us one of the most frustrating yet gratifying moments that you've had with your child or children? Could have been a time together, or one of them gave you a good one. Oh, not the
You know what?
Wow.
Because so I'll tell you a gratifying moment, but this is more for Siobhan than it is for me. It is gratifying for me, but she's the one that put in most of the work for this child. Right? Ethan is in there right now writing his full page essay. He has to turn it in tomorrow. All right. This boy had issue. He's rewriting. He's revising it and getting it straight. He's got to turn in tomorrow. And knowing what he came from and seeing what he can do now, it's extremely gratifying. It's gratifying for for a father, but I know how he got there. So kudos to Siobhan, who's the half step mom, whatever whatever name
number 2 earlier this year, so I don't know.
Okay,
I
so
upgraded.
There you go.
she
Upgraded.
has many
Oh, that's your
many
certificate.
titles in this
The
house.
woman of many titles.
The woman of many titles, even right down to acquaintance, which is horrible. And he realized that now, so it's a
But
nice
that's
little
our
inside
thing
joke.
now, so it's cool.
That's their thing. But just to see, to be honest, man, to see where all of them are. No, my 24-year-old just came back from Miami. She had a birthday. She asked me where to park at, flying out of BWI. And I was like, hey, just come to my job. Free parking. I'll drive you to the airport. She's like, how far is it to drive? It literally is like the next road. I'm like, it's the next road over. That's where I'm at. So it was nice to see her do things like that. And she flew back in. She stayed the night and she drove back home in the car that she financed herself and purchased and do all, you know what I mean? Those are gratifying moments. She didn't ask me to co-sign. She didn't even ask me for a down payment. The only thing she said is, I don't know how to budget this. I may need gas every now and then. I got the petrol. I got money. I got Snap on the petrol for you.
Snap on the petrol.
I got Snap on the petrol. Shout out to Sexual Chocolate, Rob. I know you ran it somewhere. But she, seeing that and seeing what they're becoming as an adult, she's not the type to put her hand out unless she absolutely needs to. And she's going to try 3 or 4 more things before she does it. That's gratifying. We got a couple that, it's going to take a minute to get there just right. Worried about, some of them a little bit, but we're getting there. Right.
Everybody else, okay?
Oh man,
The older
we
two, but everybody else.
right.
I mean, it's
So,
that
but
fucking thing. It's always gonna be a couple that just ain't quite get.
I think 4 out of 6 is not good. I need at least half and half.
You got time with baby boy though. You got time.
You right, and but that's hard when you got 2 that you like. Okay, like they still might need a little, and then you got the next 3.
Right. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
And then baby boy come up like the other ones. Like that's traumatizing
I gotta say this.
as a parent.
I gotta say this. I just thought about this was the most recent gratifying moment.
Oh, okay.
Seeing Ethan fight.
Yo.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you get it. You get it. He did not start the fight. He did not start the fight, but he handled his business.
He handled his business.
Yes. So a win is a win is a win. Fuck the school. I said that.
I'm just shocked that he actually was fighting.
Hey, look, dude pushed him. Yeah. There's a video.
There's a video because it was a setup.
Other problem. You just said DJ has an advantage because he can text and message and look stuff up. You know what? The disadvantage is everybody records everything. You will never get away with anything.
Yeah,
those days are gone.
That's true.
They miss the best times in life. You can talk about it, but you can't prove it. You can talk about it, but you can't prove it. Right? You can now.
Let me tell you, that right there is clipping up all my children. Like, nigga, it's right here. Like, you want me to rewind it for you? Hold on. It's right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I got proof.
Matter of fact, 6 different angles. Everybody pull their camera. You can do a full 360 video. Just
like, you're not shaggy. It wasn't me. Yes, it was. It's right here.
Yeah, you can't say it wasn't me.
Look, you can't prove it. Look, they zoomed in on your birthmark. Your birthmark's on there. That's you.
You got to right. They caught a dude who supposedly shot the CEO of an insurance company from his eyebrows.
Right.
The HD is real. The HD is real. So, Dave, what's been your gratifying moment?
Being able to enjoy my son more as he's grown up. It's like you really can't do too much with them at a super young age. But I learned as David has gotten older, him and I enjoy a bond over basketball. So he's been playing a lot of ball lately, and he's getting really, really good. So, and I had an opportunity to coach him last year for his basketball team. So I've had the opportunity to sit here and watch firsthand, watch him grow. And he has to, but it's like you still, just like you referred to earlier, you gotta kick him in the pants a little bit to keep him going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boy, if you don't get your lazy ass up and do something, it's like, but then you're just like, damn, like when I was his age, I was lazy as hell too. So it's just like, you look at it in the mirror, just like, I got a lot to deal with. And he's starting.
So what do you do when you have a child, as a father, when you have a child that is completely opposite of you? How is that experience? Or have you not experienced that at all?
All right. So I think every last one of my kids have the fight in them. That's me. They have a drive to do things themselves. That's me. I don't seek attention. I don't care whether you see me or not. I'm not an attention whore. I don't care. They have that. And
Well, they got that from their mama.
I know where they got it from. Sometimes it annoys the crap out of me, but if you regulate it well, whatever, that's just part of who you are. I'm only truly worried about one of them, and he seems to have calmed down some. I see a lot of me in my kids. Mine, I didn't have a negative thought as far as them not being like me. I had a negative thought of them being like me, especially Kiara, because she is too much fun. That girl, it's like you plucked her with a paper football. She broke your nose. You know what I mean?
Well, her
You
mama
threw.
also a fighter though. See, that's the thing. Like, we gotta acknowledge that both parents contribute. So
Right.
y'all contribute in the same problem of ass whoopery. Then the kid is just getting a double dose.
Or defiantness.
Or defiantness, or
Defiant.
disobedience, or rebel against the machine, rebel against society. Like, whatever your negative, this is why people need to be aware of the negatives they bring and the negatives that whoever they deal with is gonna bring. Because if y'all get both of them and it's the same problem in one child,
I learned something yesterday. My wife was telling me about something. One of them teen moms was going off on Instagram about whatever her life or whatever, one of her kids, and they said she got diagnosed with something called defiance disorder.
Yes.
I have never heard of that in my 40
Yes, I believe that one of
What
my
is it?
children have defiance disorder. And
What
that's
is
why I
that?
say I don't want to go get them tested, because I promise you.
Is it what I think it is?
yes,
You have an issue with authority?
yeah, pretty much.
A complete, like,
Oh, I had that.
well, no, it's
I had
not
that.
just that. It's
This is a real thing.
more into it. Like, it's like you will literally know. I don't know how to explain it fully. But it's like, oh, I know I'm going to do this. I know I'm about to do wrong. Like, it's, and you know how some people have, like, what is it, compulsion to do something?
Yes.
It's like that, but in defiance.
Let me tell you. So, and I know Kiara had that, so there's no question.
So
I had such an issue with authority, and I was the one. You could have had the gun to my head and said, "If you throw that glove, I am going to shoot you." And with no fucks given, none whatsoever. Do your part. I was that person, and it took a long time to get that out of me. It took an adjustment from God knows what. You could
the
not
Lord.
tell me, man, the Lord. I believe Lucifer had a hand of just like, I don't want that one down here. So we're gonna make Pat make sure he never makes it down here.
That's what he said.
Man,
No,
man.
It's a thing. It's a thing. And I when I say I promise you, like,
I've never heard of that. I need to look that up.
Yes, every piece of in my bone believes that my baby girl has that. Like, because it makes no sense. Like, no sense. Like, repercussions, punishments, even just talking to, like, any type of discipline, nothing works. Not like it doesn't matter. And
Hmm.
it's one thing to not care, but a part of them cares, but it's the compulsive part that they do it. It
Right.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
Now, however,
Yeah,
I
it's a
do believe
real.
a lot of our parents have it. I had it. I do believe a lot of our civil rights movement people had it. I think a lot of us had it in some way, shape, or form. However, I also believe a lot of us with prayer and ass whoopings also
Mm,
learned.
mm.
Hold on, that hurt.
Strategic
I
discipline.
don't want that part.
Yeah, you gotta get the
You
consequences.
gotta, yeah. So, and with that, you have to find the thing that's going to make it click. And the disorder part is you can't find it.
Look,
So
we
for you, something clicked at some point.
mm,
The people who have the disorder, it usually doesn't
It
click
never
in life.
clicked. Mm.
And most of the time they end up in jail or dead.
So I'm gonna say, speaking of disorders, because both of y'all had children with disabilities, right?
Really?
How was finding out that your child had a disability, and how was or is raising that child?
David, we'll let you go first.
Denial.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Denial.
Mm-hmm.
When your child is born, the first thing you think about is, oh my God, this child is perfect. She ain't got a blemish on her. She came out wonderful. When Mel was born, I was in the operating room. And when she opened her eyes, I was the first person she saw. So instantly in my mind, I go into guardianship. That's how fathers are with daughters. We go into guardianship over our daughters.
The good
And
ones, the good ones.
the
The
good
good
one.
ones.
So my whole thing was I have to protect this little girl. So it's just like I said, everything was rolling fine up until we were down in Atlanta. I'll never forget the day. We were down in Atlanta and she was dabbling, talking, whatnot. Next day, she didn't say nothing. So we got concerned. We took her to the specialist. And then they told us that, unfortunately, Melody has displayed signs of being on the spectrum. What's that? She has autism spectrum disorder. Mel, man, not. This is type of shit you hear about on TV and in the media and stuff like that. You don't think it's gonna happen to your kid? Yeah. And I think what really messed me up was the fact that when I looked up the traits, a lot of it comes from the male chromosome.
Mm.
So it's like a double whammy because it's just like you're in denial about your child, but then you're also thinking like, God damn, I caused this.
Mm.
Or somebody in my genealogy has had this chromosome and I had no idea about it. So then you're like, then you add another layer to it where it's just like, okay, well, Mel was the last child I had. Do you really want another one?
Mm.
Mm.
Do you want to take that risk of bringing another autistic child into the world? And that right there, that's the thing that really got me as far as learning that she was on the spectrum. But it's just like multi-layered multi-layered versions of guilt,
Mm-hmm.
because you feel guilty because you created a child that has this unfortunate circumstance. And this isn't just like we said earlier, this isn't an 18-year commitment.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lifelong thing. As long as God gives you enough breath in your air, you're going to have to be responsible for this child.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, that's where my mind was when I found out about Mel. But it's just one of them things you gotta learn, do your research, and you gotta deal with it every weekend or every day. Like I see them, it's like you gotta roll the punches. You gotta learn. You gotta learn. Every day is a new page in the book of life when it comes to Mel. So it's like you just taking notes. go back and look at like, okay, like I remember she did this. Like, okay, how did I deal with this? Okay, now you put another footnote and like you got to learn with kids with disabilities. Every day is a learning process. So, but I'm off my soapbox. Yes, it's up. Go ahead,
Hey,
bro.
look, I start off by saying this. So my situation is different. I had kids by multiple people, put it like that. So the first daughter, I wasn't there for her birth. However, like you said, when your son was born, you're like, oh, I got to be responsible for this. Like you knew. I thought my daughter was my niece. My mom, I didn't even know she was born. My mom calls me while I'm at work. Marshall, you got to get down here. Your sister's going in labor. Because my daughter and my niece, only a few days apart. They're 5 days apart. So everybody's birthday right around this. So I get down there and my mom, being who she is, and I wish she was still the same person she was, but being the person she is, she calls me down here and she goes, hey, look at all the beautiful babies in here. See if you pick out your niece. I'm like, right there. That's my niece. She's like, that's your niece? I'm like, that's my niece. She was like, how do you know? I said, that's rice written all over that baby. She was like, your niece over there getting changed. And I'm like, who that baby is this? And she looked at me in my face and said, who baby is this indeed? You know what I mean? Like, because I didn't really let everybody know.
Oh, damn.
My mama knew. My mama knew. Ain't because I told her. Mama had that. She had that. So she knew. She called me down.
So your baby was
and my baby was there in the nursery. And that was the last day that they were there. She was leaving the next day. So my mom goes, go on down there. She down the hall. I said, you talk to her? I just know what's going on. Go on down there. She down the hall by herself. Go ahead and talk to her. That's how I met my first. So I didn't get the opportunity to know what was good, what was bad about my first daughter. My second daughter, I'm there. And she came out, and I remember the doctor said, she's probably not going to look at you because they don't fix on anybody. And I just remember she was like this. And locked eyes on me and stayed there like,
Yep.
The whole time. And even the doctor was like, kids, she's not even a day. They normally don't do that. Oh, she stayed there. I moved to the right. She moved to the right. I moved to the left. She moved to the left. She just stared at me. I'm like, well, this one's fine. You know what I mean? I already see that. Logan wasn't there. I found out about Logan later. So was not there. Was there after. Ethan was the one from day one when he came out and he was so damn yellow. They thought, oh, he was light skinned. He was light skinned. Damn near transparent light skin. Almost had to check myself light skin.
He was clear.
Oh, look. And they thought he had jaundice.
Clear.
And I said, damn, I broke one. That's what I thought. I said, damn, I broke one. I just put it on me. I was like, number one, I didn't even know what jaundice was. They just came out and said your baby got something. You know what I mean? I didn't know what it was. Like, damn, I broke one. Jaundice. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out what that is. And then once I looked it up, I'm like, that ain't what he got. He don't have that. He's just light skinned. So as he started to grow, I started to notice that Ethan wouldn't really fix his eyes on you early. He kind of was here and here and here and here and here and here. And I was just like, sometimes I had him like, I'm trying to get him to look in the face, and he would not really look in the face. It was later once he started doing that. And I'm just like, this is different. I have concerns. I said something to the doctors. They're like, oh, you're just paranoid. There's nothing there. There's nothing going on. I'm like, all right. Usually by one, my kids were already taking their steps. He was 1 year and 6 months before he finally decided to take a step, and he fell down and he would not try to take a step again. It wasn't until he was almost 2 and we were out at a park and I got him. It's me and his little brother, and I mean his older brother, and we're out on the field and I'm trying to get him to just play in the dirt, do anything. And he gets up and starts to run. Like, he didn't walk. He literally got up and took off running. and never fell over. And I'm just like, damn, I really did break this one. That's how I thought. That's how I looked at it. I was like, damn, I really did break this one.
Yeah.
And then he didn't talk for a long time. And I was just waiting. Every time I took him to the doctors, I literally was waiting for somebody to say, you're going to have to put him in special care because he can't talk. What happened was he didn't have to talk. Logan kept talking for him. As soon as he would go, Logan was like, he wants milk. He wants those cookies over there. So he didn't have to talk. And the doctor was like, you're going to have to take him from his brother for a while for him to start talking for himself. And so he would go, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Milk. What? Milk. And that's how he started. So he started late. And I knew then this one is going to be the one that I'm going to have to figure this out early, how to do it. So he was the one that started preschool and stuff before anybody else because I wanted him to have the advantage. But I don't think nobody truly knew how to break this down. This lady right here, this young lady, decides to come into his life during COVID. And I truly believe that's what saved him and allowed him to be who he is now. Because I would have been the one during COVID yelling at him in his face, 2 + 2 is 4. What don't you get? 1, 2, 3, 4. And that would have been me because I don't, because it makes sense to me. She learned him, which allowed him to learn himself. I never really had the moment where I was like, man, I got one child that's just going to be behind and doesn't know anything or whatever, because I kept pushing. I never focused on that. And I think during COVID was the first time that I really was like, man, this is going to be a thing. This is really going to be something. But I did have help doing it. And that really changed the game, where, like you were saying before, having somebody come in and love kids and do for kids that's not theirs. Shout out to you, Michelle. Shout out to you, Siobhan. You know what I mean? Just, shout out to you, Dave, for just being a dad. You know what I mean? Because, holding it down. But shout out to the ones that come in and really love and really sacrifice and dedicate to kids, even going through one that's defiant. Shout out, still sticking through it and still, hey, I see the eyes, but I get it. But I get it because you're still sticking through it. So shout out to those. Definitely have a lot of empathy, and it definitely helped to the point where now I have a better understanding of my own child.
Yeah, I'll say just real quick. This is gonna literally be my last one. I'll say for my baby. And just with anything that comes with special disabilities diagnosis, it's important to get them diagnosed.
Yes.
It's important to get them diagnosed. We need to do that. And it's
I'm
important.
not.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to do it professionally. I'm saying it's important to get them diagnosed as far as knowing what's going on with them to know how to deal with it. Because I was the one who diagnosed Ethan with autism. I did that. Because when I came in the gate, it was, oh, he has ADD or he has ADHD.
Yeah.
And I watched him. And first of all, I want to thank this movie because Claire Danes was in this movie based on a real woman who's in the cattle industry, and she actually created this system which like herds cattle scientifically, like and like how to kill them humanely, like shock them. She developed all of that, like how to get them up ramps, and she was autistic. And watching that movie, I used to love that movie. I watched that movie like 3 times. When I met Ethan and he was 6, it just seeing him, and when I first met him, I just remember I remember Eureka used to be like, "Oh, my baby, he's slow," right? Like I heard about Ethan, he's slow. Meeting him, I was like, "Yeah, okay, something he a little off." What it was being around him and actually being in the house with him and watching him, and I was like, "He's supposed to have what?" And Marshall said, "Well, he has ADHD, or he's been diagnosed again by the doctors with ADD," and I said, "He's autistic." because I'm watching him and he's doing a whole lot of stuff that this woman did. The difference being she liked hugs. She just didn't want a human to touch her. That's why she created like a hug machine, which got her kicked out of college, which was crazy. And he loves to hug, but only hug certain people. But it was just a matter of watching him. And what really did it was the alarm clock. Boy, that boy in time. It was that. It was also an episode of Law and Order SVU because I used to watch that all the time. And this autistic girl was like by the clock.
By the clock. She had to do it. Yep,
She
I know
had
that
to do
episode.
it by the clock, and that was Ethan. And I was to the point where he did it one time, and it scared the shit out of me because it was like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde flip, and I was like, what the hell just? It's 7:29. I'm like, Ethan, go take a shower. I don't take until 7:30. Ethan, it's 7:29. Just go take a shower. I mean, whole temper tantrum for 60 seconds because when the minute that clock hit 7:30 and the alarm went off, I have to take a shower now. I said, what in the Exorcist? What the fuck just happened? Yo, it was the scariest thing because the whole vibe changed. It went from oh my god to I need to take a shower now. And went into his drawers, got his stuff, and I was like, I told Marshall, he definitely is autistic. Cause that shit right there, that's another level. But I think, but that's why I say getting them diagnosed because me saying he has autism led me to be like, okay, how do I deal with this? How do I teach him? How do I reach him? What do I need to do? I need to spend more time getting, okay, he clocks, give him time. Cool. We'll get the time thing. And for a long time, he was truly, if you told him 5 o'clock, it was 5 on a dot. Now he kind of like 5:05, 5:10, but really like learning that about him. That's why I'm saying I think it's important for us to, as parents, male, female, whatever, to know your child, diagnose your child. I'm not saying you gotta take them to a doctor. I understand why we avoid that. I understand why we avoid that. But knowing that will help you figure out how to do whatever. And what we said like last week, not stress yourself out. Listen, because you got to live.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. I
So
mean,
even if you could say, you know what, this is your defiance disorder fucking up, and I ain't got time, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm not, because I realize what I think that's what it is. Knowing what it is allows you as a parent to go, I'm engaging or I'm not engaging, learning how you need to engage and that type of stuff. That's why I'm saying, like, I think learn and know your child. Because I know parents that don't know their children.
well, we're not gonna talk about that, but
and them kids end up a mess. That's what I got to say.
no,
Know your kids. Learn
now,
your kids. That's my point. Learn your kids.
and I agree. Now, okay, for those who don't know me, please know that when I say I'm not gonna get them diagnosed, it's not because one I haven't tried. That's one. That's one. When you have tried and stuff don't be going right, and they get you to run around, you go, you know what? I ain't got time for this shit. I'm not doing this again. And not only I didn't do it once, I did it about 3 times. I'm not going through this. That's one. Two, I am, as my children like to say, a search it up parent. I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna do some reading. I'm going to ask those who I know who have children as well. Children, I have our old friend Rita, son fully autistic. Love my baby. Nephew, beautiful young man, and seeing his development, even from afar, is amazing. Um, Marshall's baby. It's others that I've seen, and I've taken notes. I said with my own. I diagnosed my tag student with dyslexia because I noticed his comprehension was different. I was like, something about it. So paying now, all my children will tell you I pay too much attention. That's probably why I get on their nerves. But anyway, so yes, what you're saying is to know and watch your children pay attention. So I just want to get that straight for all those who might be looking like, oh my God, should I look at it? Shut the fuck up. I did what I was supposed to do. Mind your business. However, with that being said, it is important to know them, know you, and do what you can within your means. Um, you will have to adjust. Even I know having someone that is truly nonverbal, someone who they claim would never do X, Y, and Z, and to see them go completely opposite of what the doctor has said, hallelujah, that's a testimony in itself, is a very, very, very common thing. Which is why I also stand on. I'll say this: if there's something tremendously wrong, fight the battle. Fight the battle to get the past it. Fight the battle. Go through the hoops and the. I didn't have that issue today. However, if this is something that you know can be overcome by discipline, you changing your habits, you making adjustments, you doing this, then do that. But I would just say don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore them. Pay attention to your babies. And I appreciate the dads who pay attention. The dads who notice that this is not just hard for me, this is hard for them. Because imagine, put yourself in their shoes. They're seeing their siblings. They're seeing other people around them, and they know that they're different. They know they're different. A lot of them are smarter than us, but they just translate differently. Okay? But they know that they're different. So seeing the dads that are interacting, that are taking the time, that are that's spending the attention, taking the attention, taking the time to pay them attention. Sorry. It's rewarding. It's comforting. I want to give you all a heads up, claps, applause,
Not
all
the
that.
stuff though. Lord,
If nobody else gives
oh
them
I'm
my,
praise up though.
oh my, doing praise
it,
dances in
it's
here.
appreciated. Don't lose sight of the goal. Stay prayed up. Um, and happy Father's Day. If nobody, or belated.
I mean, it's
Father's
over
Day.
now, but we wish
Okay,
y'all
well,
a happy
happy
one.
belated Father's Day, if that's the right word. Happy post Father's
Hey,
Whatever.
it's the
Y'all,
thought
I'm
that
just
counts.
rambling at this point. However, I will say us women, the good ones, are extremely appreciative of all the fathers out there. We know that it is not we know it is not easy. We appreciate the teamwork, we appreciate the communications, we even appreciate the miscommunications, because it just gives us the opportunity to get better as people and to grow. Um, even though sometimes we might want to chuck the other person with the elbow. It's okay. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? People's elbow. All that. But we do appreciate you. We thank you, and we honor those who this applies.
So, Dave, are there any final words you want to say?
Don't give up on your kids, fellas.
A dead break.
Don't give up on your kids. I don't give a damn what circumstance it is. It's hard. Sometimes, we regret who we slept with to create this child, and you got to deal with them one way or another. But my thing is, like, do it for the kid.
Do it for the babies.
Do it for the babies. It's too many lost kids out here already. Like, all these wild ass kids out here doing all this stuff on social media. I sound like an old man, but it's like it's
Crazy how we sound like the old people now, right?
yeah, it's like I sound like an old man ranting, but it's just like I see the damage that has been done to some of these kids because they didn't have a steady father figure in their life, and it's really concerning. Like, man, like, look at some of these people in the news be like, dog, like, if you had a father around, he would have told your dumb ass not to do that. It's just like, my thing is like, just okay, dads, try harder. Try harder. Almost, baby, most of the baby mothers are just looking for you to establish some kind of relationship with your child. It ain't about them. They just want to see you make an effort. Make an effort.
Consistently. And on that note, ladies and
Well,
gentlemen.
wait, Marshall didn't respond.
Marshall didn't do it.
Oh shit! I thought he went first.
No, because he was going. I gave it to Dave first.
Oh, shoot for it, buddy. Sorry.
Hey, I'm gonna give 2 words, and that's it: discipline and grateful. Be grateful for the ones that decide to sacrifice their time to help. Be grateful for the ones that have always sacrificed their time, patience, health, money, God knows whatever else they're putting in there for these kids. Single mothers, steady mothers, substitute mothers, surrogate mothers, whatever mothers you want to throw in there. Fathers,
Bonus
you
one.
know,
No, not those mothers. Okay.
fathers imply discipline. You need to enforce discipline on these matters. And discipline is doing something when you don't feel like doing it, like you love it. Get out there and push harder. At that breaking point when you don't feel like doing it, push harder and just push through it.
And
The
discipline don't
payoff is
always mean
great.
kick ass. Know that.
It does.
Mhm.
We've
Different ways to
established that
discipline.
here.
Just
And-
for clarification.
And then
Go
this
ahead.
goes for all parents. This is something my wife told me. She's like, stop trying to be your kids' friends and be their parent. One thing I had to learn, my wife taught me, she's like, yo, look, stop trying to be their friend. Because when you got to discipline them, it sucks.
Well, it sucks
Yep.
when you're
But
their parent.
you
It
have
don't
to
make it
do
better
it.
when you their friend.
You have
No,
to,
no.
because you have to learn from their mistake.
Period.
So
Amen.
hold on, let me tell you something. We just came from out of state, and the kids came with us. This is the first time we've had the kids out of state. Marshall, bro, I'm telling you.
Road trip. Road
Road-
trip.
So yes, but it was peaceful. But it's the thing about it was like David had just gotten in trouble from he had a parent teacher conference where things were not very well. So we had to figure out a way to discipline this boy. So I'm like, damn, like I'm like, you can bring your Xbox. Like, no, you can't bring your Xbox because you're punished. Dad, I want this, that, and the other. I can't give you this, that, and the other because you're punished because you did something in school that you were not supposed to do. And it hurt my heart to have to do it.
It hurts so bad.
It hurts.
It hurts so bad.
But in the long run, you understand, like, okay, they're going to learn a lesson from this. So you have to do it regardless of how you feel about, being their friend or making them happy and stuff like that. You gotta be a parent.
Gotta be a parent. And
Gotta be.
last but not least, to piggyback on that, I literally just told my daughters, I love you. But two things. One, I ain't your friend. It's my job to teach you so you can go out here and be a productive adult. So you can go out here and be an upstanding citizen, whatever the fuck that might look like to different people. You can go out here and be successful. If I give you the same advice your friends your age are giving you, and I am twice your age plus, that's a problem. My daughter said, you only gonna tell me things from a parent's point of view. Yes, baby, because I'm
Yes.
your
I've
friend.
been there.
Right.
That's
my role. That's
You
my
are
role.
my offspring. I know what you're going to do.
I am not your friend. The Lord did not make me a parent to be your friend. Okay? He didn't make me a parent because I needed a friend. I hate when people say that. Oh, my broke best friend. My broke best friend is an adult, and if she broke, we need to look at her employment situation. My broke that's a broke best friend. However, my child is not my broke best friend. That is my child.
Right.
My mama hang out like we girlfriends, but that is my mama. At any given point, I realize that my mama. Let me shut up. So I want us to definitely, and this is all I'm gonna say, keep in mind, we not y'all friend. We not supposed to be your friend. No, you're not gonna like us all the time. You probably won't like us more the majority of the time. It honestly is normal for you not to want to have shit to do with us. But the thing is, if we train you up in the way that you should go, when you become older, you do not
Won't
depart.
depart from it.
And what that means
Right.
is you are going to go out there and do some dumb shit. But guess what? When you realize it was dumb shit, you will not depart, means you gonna back your ass the fuck up and come back to what you were taught.
That
but
light
if I don't
is
teach
going to go
you
off.
that,
That's right.
but if I don't teach you that, then I have done you a disservice. And on that note, that is parenting from mama and daddy. And I will say, cheers to that. Cause nigga, y'all
Mic
delusional
drop.
out here. Okay, damn. So, I guess I'll give you my wine review because I'm the only one that got the German wine.
I mean, just let us know real quick if you smashing the passion.
I'm
That's
a
basically what we
smash.
had. Okay.
smashing.
This is the look on
Our
Noah's face.
cheers to that wine review is simply: will we smash the grape or will we pass the grape? So, we give our number ratings at the wine out that we have when both of us are present and we taste each other's wines at the end of the month at our wine out. He was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, smash or pass? What is happening?" So, I
Yeah, we
cheers
just
to that wine
simplified it
review.
because we doing the numbers on this was just so hard. It just, what's your first
Yeah,
reaction?
so
Smash or
we
pass?
keep it short and simple. If we like it, if we don't like it, pass. We don't like, smash. We like. So I will smash this grape. Maybe that's what I should have said. Oh goodness. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank our wonderful guests for joining us on this gracious episode, talking about fatherhood or in parenthood and lifehood and things like that. Before we leave, our guests, you can let us know where people can find you.
I'll
If
be
you
on here
want
somewhere.
If you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram at DECSR617. I'm not on Instagram. I'm more on Facebook.
That is old man for real.
Yeah,
Hey,
I don't do TikTok. I don't do Twitter anymore.
Okay.
We only do YouTube and Instagram, so we are not gonna judge you.
Oh no, no
I'm on
judgment at all.
Instagram. I'm on Instagram, Casimir Rice or DJ
Oh,
Kaz.
you can find me on Facebook. Dads in the DMV. That is
That's
my
right.
dad's
I'm
group.
part of that group. I'm in that group.
That is my dad's group. I created a dad's group because a few years ago I couldn't find any dads on social media in the DMV. So I'm
Right.
like, damn, like, where's the Facebook group? So I created one, and we're about 1,400 strong.
Yep.
Oh,
So check
We
me out
have
on
good conversation, good questions, really good
Good
questions on there,
job.
good topics. Yeah.
that's
Community.
cool.
So that's if you need a community, that's where you can go. It's on Facebook. Dang it.
Yes.
Now we talk about us old people. Anyway, I am one of your wonderful hostesses, Taya Michelle.
I am the other one, Siobhan Camille.
Be sure to follow, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. You can follow us on Instagram and right here on YouTube at ALS, the number 2, WA. And remember, as always,
There's nothing wrong with a little wine.
Drink up,
or a
ain't
lot.
merry.
Or a lot.
Bye. Toodles, y'all. See y'all next week.